You did it.
Yay, I did it right, finally. I told you I did
it. Just takes a few times. It was like Dean the other day, we were trying to figure out how to like, three-way, four-way call. And I was like, I swear we used to do this all the time before like FaceTime and stuff, but
yeah.
It like pauses your phone call. And then like sometimes you get super confused of like who's all there. He's like, okay, like who do I have on the line now? I'm like, I promise I'm still here. It's been less than 24 hours. How are you?
Yeah, good to see you so soon.
No. Hello, Josh. You're always the first one on these webinars. I feel like at the end of this, we'll have to point that out, that you were the first person to say hello and always the first person on these.
Oh, I seriously love it. It's so much fun. I really do.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I have to go get my car eventually today. I have it up at the shop. Went to my eye doctor's this morning. My eye's getting better.
Oh, good. That's good. I do love the glasses though. I do love the glasses.
Definitely need new ones. I told them I had to go back in a week, and I was like, I also need an eye appointment then. And they were like, yeah, whatever I had was in the dead center of my eye. Like, oh, I was like, yikes.
Oh yeah, that's not good. Ugh. Yeah, eye stuff makes me nervous.
Yeah, me too. I was telling you at the gym the other day, I was like, I've had issues ever since I was younger because I just fall asleep in my contacts because I have a huge fear of like if I wake up and I can't see right away.
Yeah.
Like if someone breaks into my house, like I have these irrational fears, but I'm like, I have to see right away. And they're like, just grab your glasses. I'm like, okay.
My eyes are so bad. I have like my contacts are like a negative like 8 something. So I can't.
There. I'm getting real close. I'm real close.
So I want to get LASIK. Both my parents did, but I had a client who had like a really bad experience. They like screwed her LASIK up so bad, and she had to quit her job because she couldn't drive. They like used a broken laser on her. So I'm like terrified because I'm like, okay, you know what? I've had contacts since I was 7. Like,
yeah,
I can deal with this over having like, not be able to see for like a year. So I'm torn on what to do, but for now I'm just dealing with the contacts.
Yeah, same. I have the dailies, and that's when this morning she was like, it's weird to get, an ulcer with dailies. I go, well, if you sleep enough. And she was like, okay, understood. But it's super convenient. It's like a 1-minute drive from my house. I didn't even realize that there was like an eye doctor there. I was like, nice. I was like, that works. So I could walk there, and the car place is right up like about 2 miles away that I walk to. I'm like, perfect. It's nice.
That's super convenient.
Yeah, not snowing. So like my cardio for the day is gonna be walking to go get my car after work.
That makes sense. That works.
Oh man. But yeah, I get to go out to Delmont tomorrow. Super excited. I always like spending a day out there with all the guys.
Yeah. Yeah, we love going there on Tuesdays and training and hanging out.
Yeah. I thought of you actually when we got off the call last night. I was looking into this husky, and they found another owner because I don't have a fence yet. So like some people are kind of weary of letting me adopt a husky due to the fence. And I actually found one last night that I inquired about that is 12 years old. Completely blind in one eye, and I'm like, I feel like Justine, so I'm gonna go meet her next week.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah,
they're usually any of the rescues, they've been like super. Actually, the Humane Society didn't even ask, but the other ones were like all super weird about like the fence and like doggy the gates in the house and all that stuff, which I mean, with the blind dogs, we obviously have to have them, but we didn't before because the other ones were fine and didn't need it.
Yeah,
that's exciting though. Hopefully it works out.
Thanks. Hello everybody else.
Hello
again.
Making sure the internet's doing good.
You're good.
Good.
Hi Doug.
What's going on? I was going to ask if you guys could hear me. Hopefully you can.
You're good.
Yeah, we got you. Joel, can you put Dixie in the room?
How many dogs do you have, Justine?
9.
Jeez.
And right now, the one older one, she has dementia, so she runs in circles all day. So it's just really annoying me, her pitter pattering behind my ear. So I just told Joel to put her in the other room.
I hear a little pitter patter.
Yeah, she needs some quiet time.
Yeah, I always hope mine don't bark, so that's my
I
biggest.
know, that's what I told Joel. I'm like, will you please be attentive if somebody starts freaking out? Go get them.
Go get him. How you doing, Seth?
Good day.
Yeah, I was like, I
Busy.
feel like we've just been here less than 24 hours ago.
I'm here a lot at the office. A lot.
Cool. Since we're all here, we can just get this started. Welcome. It's what, Thursday. We're going into week 4 check-ins. Those do start
Crazy.
tomorrow all the way up to Sunday. So don't forget, any questions, you guys know, challenge@axandsledge.com, and we'll get right back to you. But with that said, this webinar is just kind of going over, you guys are at the halfway point, and there's a lot of questions or people just posting of like, how do you stay motivated? That's the biggest question. There weren't any questions coming into today that were emailed in, but the webinar is covering how to stay motivated, how to maybe get out of a rut or like finish it. We're halfway through. So with that, I'll pass it to Seth and you guys can have your conversation.
So I mean, this is a topic that I believe everybody handles differently. Like I'm tired, I'm beat, work's intense, training's intense, I'm busting my ass. And like, how do you stay motivated at anything? And a lot of people they'll use cliches, and those cliche sayings or things are very good in my opinion. But at the end of the day, you kind of got to understand that if you want to do something that is extraordinary for yourself, whether it's losing 20 pounds, 100 pounds, getting ready for a show, you're going to have to do some shit that you don't do before. And if you give up, you're going to revert right back to where you were. And the reason that you started was because you didn't want to be that motherfucker no more. So like at this point, whenever I'm halfway in and I'll start feeling sorry for myself for some fucking bullshit like that, like all of a sudden you have to look at yourself, or at least I look at myself as an absolute fucking savage. Like if I don't wake up and look at myself in the mirror and say, get the fuck moving, then I won't. Because then I'm not a savage. I'm just like everyone else. And deep down, I know that I'm not like everybody else. So why should I act like it? And the same needs to go through your head. I don't treat my days lightly. I don't treat shit lightly. I look at it as like, people are like, just remember why you started. Well, maybe like that's good for a lot of people, but I'm not remembering why I started. I want to know where the fuck I want to go. Like I have to think about like, I just want to do things that nobody else is doing. And I can't do that if I'm like, do what everybody else is doing. So I don't look at things from a polite standpoint. I don't look at things from like a, keep doing a good job. No, at this point, I just want to rip motherfuckers' heads off and go as hard as I can and do some shit nobody else is willing to fucking do. And that's why every single morning, whenever I post my cardio, or I post me wringing out my shirt after I got done doing cardio, it's because motherfucker, I know a lot of people don't like doing that shit. And I'm showing you that I'm putting in fucking work, because in order for my fat ass to have abs and be in shape, I have to diet. I have to cut things out that I enjoy on my daily basis. And I have to work my ever loving fucking balls off. So I'm going to show you, and you should be doing the same shit. So whenever it's like staying motivated, it's like, I'm not trying to stay motivated. I'm looking at reasons and the thought process of how to rip motherfuckers' heads off. So when I go to train, I'm not being like, man, I can't wait to do chest. No, I'm going to fuck shit up. In my opinion, that is the mentality you should be at the halfway point, because now shit's getting hard and you can either take it lightly and feel sorry for yourself, or you can nut the fuck up and take it to a new level. That's how I look at it, at least. And it might be a little intense, but I believe that's like, if you want to do something like the $50,000 that we have on the line, we didn't put 50 G's up for everybody to act like a bunch of fucking pussies. We put it up for people to be like, give me that motherfucking shit.
Fact. Just to add on to that, a lot of things that I tell regular people, my clients, lifestyle clients, competitors, motivation is cool. Quotes, all of those things are cool, but you got to have discipline over motivation. There's no way to sugarcoat it. There's no other way to put it. If you only did things when you felt like it, you'd never get anything done, period. That's across the board with anything in life. So I think that most people need to stop caring about how do you find motivation, because you can find motivation from anything. And I like to use myself as an example. My motivation is my kids and my family. If I don't go out and do what I'm supposed to do, they ain't gonna eat. They ain't gonna be able to live the life that I want them to be able to live, that I'm sure that they want to live. So on those days that I don't feel like getting up, I don't feel like training, I don't feel like doing my cardio, I got to be disciplined. And just like Seth said, I can't be a pussy at the end of the day. I can't care about my feelings. I can't care about other things that don't matter, because at the end of the day, the results matter for me. So I'm able to think in a way that is opposite of how I used to think. I used to make excuses on why I couldn't do something. Now I make excuses why I should do it. And a lot of the times I'll do something because I don't feel like doing it. So that's my excuse. I'm doing it because I don't feel like doing it. And like I said to you before, you gotta put this in perspective. If you only did things when you felt like it, you would never get nothing done. A lot of the times you're not going to feel like doing. How many times you don't feel like going to work and you go to work? You know what I mean? You got to go to work. You got to pay the bills. You got to do these things. So it's the same thing in this challenge. If you want the results, if you want that cash prize at the end, you're going to be disciplined over motivation.
Yeah, just to, touch base with everything that they already had said, I think if you think back to your childhood, I think a lot of the way that we act as adults obviously has to do with how we're brought up. I was lucky enough to have parents that were hard on me in a good way. I was not allowed to quit things. I was not allowed to half-ass things. I wasn't allowed to have fun until I finished my work. And I always tell my mom, like, I am so thankful that you did that, because that's why I'm a pro bodybuilder. That's why I'm an IFBB pro, because I had to practice my piano before I went outside in the summer. I had to do my homework before I had a friend over. I wasn't allowed to quit something mid-season or in the halfway point of like a dance class I didn't like or anything. And, if you weren't somebody who was brought up that way, I think that is where, as an adult, becomes an issue with being motivated or staying motivated, because you never had somebody making you do those things. So now as an adult, you need to take the responsibility and understand you got to do that on your own now. And even if you weren't raised that way, you have to be the person that doesn't procrastinate, that doesn't quit halfway through. We're halfway now. Yes, we're tired. Things are getting hard. Maybe you're probably getting hungry. I'm sure you're getting tired of your cardio. But every morning when I wake up, I get out of bed and I think in my head, oh my God, I can't fathom doing this crazy cardio today that I have to do. I do like a 45-minute like HIIT routine, very much inspired by Seth to get back to like my athleticism. So thank you for that. But I'm loving it, absolutely loving it. But I am beat to hell. My body hurts, my joints are hurting. And I think I can't do this today. But you know what? Before I even think twice, I just started. I press the timer, I press the button. And before you know it, if you just start, it's done before you can even have those bad thoughts, before you can make an excuse, before you come up with something, conjure up something in your head to not do it, it could already be over. And then you're on with your day. Don't even give yourself that 5 seconds to say, I don't want to do it. Just do it. Just start, and it will be done before you know it. And that will help you to stay with, like what Doug said, with discipline. And that's the discipline behind that motivation. Yeah, motivation's great. You got to have the discipline. And that's something that's always helped me. I don't even give myself an option to make the excuse. I just go.
And right off of that, like me, like whenever I'm doing these things and I know they're intense and I know they're hard, I'm an intense person. Like uh like 4 weeks ago, I didn't think I would be as intense as I am on a daily basis, like back into training and just fucking the animalistic qualities of like a prep almost. Like it becomes very like very disciplined and also like an intense mentality. And I believe you have to adopt it if you want to do some wild shit. But so my thing is like after I get, like Justine was saying, after I get done a workout where I literally just put myself through the fucking ringer, I'm proud of myself. Like that feeling is something that I'm starting to chase more and more because I look at it as a challenge. Like I'm like, oh, okay, how far can I push myself today? What can I do today that would probably bury me? I'm searching for those things. And do I like, I want to do it, but by 6 o'clock here, I'm like, man, fuck, I got to get my shit together. Then I go and do it. And I'm like, man, I'm getting pretty good at this. I am getting way more functional. It's a sense of pride that I hold myself to, that I'm like, this was enjoyable. I like this. This made me feel good about myself. Whether I win or lose at whatever I'm doing, I get to be proud of myself. And that is something for self-confidence that continues to motivate me because I was never good at running. I'm not no fucking athlete. I was never like a big time athlete about running around in circles. Like, for example, like Bob, I can't run more than a mile. Not good at it. But right now I can run a quarter mile pretty fucking quick. I can run a mile in under 8 minutes. That's pretty good for me. So, and especially after being a pro bodybuilder for as many years as I was, it's like, these are things that I'm proud of. So they motivate me. They keep me on track, even on days when I'm like, I don't want to go running. And I just wrote on my list, look, oh, there it is, quarter mile run 4 times. Fuck that shit. But when I'm done, I'm like, good, I'm proud, motivated. So the hard shit that you guys do, or the hard shit that you put yourselves through, those results, whenever you're getting results, whether it's fucking how you look or your performance, you be proud of yourself and understand that all those things that you're gaining, whatever they may be, those are where you should start to feel proud of yourself and understand that that work you put in is that result. That result is from that work. Do you want more of them? Do more work. It is as dumb as it fucking sounds. And as simple as it sounds, whenever you see somebody that's in shape, you're like, fuck, that person works pretty hard. Same goes for you. People will notice your changes. And we already see it in the challenge group. We're seeing it everywhere. Continue to work. Be proud of yourself. Post the pictures, show your progress, even if it's on just a fucking PR with, instead of doing the 60s for 8 on incline dumbbell presses, now you're getting the fucking 80s for 10. That's progress. Be proud of it.
I think people are really, really quick nowadays to be lackadaisical on themselves when it comes to sticking with something. They just let themselves easily be let down, and that just keeps happening over and over again. And I mean, I see it with clients. I have clients that have been working for years. I have some that are super successful, and I have others that same thing day after day. They do good and then they mess up, and then they do good and they mess up. I mean, that's very mentally just not good. It's very mentally toxic. When was the last time that you did something good and that you weren't happy with it? When was the last time you did something that was really incredible, whether it was at work, whether it was something with your children that you like, your kid did something awesome that you were proud of, that you helped them do that, or that you did something with your house or with your property or with your body that you didn't feel good? When you think about wanting to quit or not wanting to move forward, think about that. Like, no one ever said, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that. When it comes to the end, no matter how hard it was, you don't say like, oh yeah, I wish I wouldn't have done so good at that. But you don't say that. You're proud. Like Seth saying, you're proud of yourself. That's what you want.
For sure. No, I use myself in these examples, like the running, just because I'm actually doing this challenge. Like I'm pushing myself through it. And like I haven't done this in shit. It's literally been 10 years. And like you were saying, how people look the same. People are always like, Seth, you're always in shape. You always look like you're in shape. Well, I'm always doing my cardio. I stay on my diet. But whenever you see me get into shape, that means I'm pushing myself harder, because usually, like, I'm working really hard in the gym, I'm probably doing about like maybe not as much cardio as I am right now, but my problem is I like to eat. That's always been my thing. And that's been this transition is Seth, you have to stop eating so many fucking snacks because they end up getting bad for you. But that's why I look the same all the time is because of my routine. So the reason you look the way you look is because of what you're doing. You have to change it. Have to if you want results. But the motivation is the feelings. I think feelings personally. Like I only do things to like the reason I do something is to feel something. Like that's why I do it. So whenever I want to be motivated, I'm using those feelings as motivation. That's how I personally stay motivated. Yeah. We had somebody, Seth, actually, an 8-minute mile at your size is really fucking good. Thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
I fucking hate running. I hate running so much. I despise it.
Yeah, I don't think running is running. I never liked running either. I only did it for sports. And I always tell people, you know, for me with bodybuilding, I don't do any running. I walk. You know, I walk a lot, but you know, I walk and keep my heart rate at a good pace so that I make sure I'm burning fat.
You know, that's a question. The burning fat at a certain heart rate. I never really got into that. Like I'm the asshole that just like I'm gonna go as hard as I can for 45 minutes on the stepper.
Yeah.
Like that's my mentality for it. It's not like I've never actually. Where's my bag at?
I love running, so you know.
I do too. I ran track for 12 years, so I'm ex-track athlete here. I love running.
Distance. Oh, if
I ran track.
nothing.
I ran track for football. If you see me running, I'm running from something. I'm not just running just because.
Yeah, when the football team did track, it was just to get in shape for football. Y'all don't count.
Yeah, that was it. That's all I ran track for, to stay in shape for football and get a little faster. But I never understood running for fun. That is not fun. No, I'm joking, but
Well, I was trying to find my heart rate monitor. I just got one of the chest straps. I left it in the truck. It's not in my bag. I got one to start tracking my heart rate. So whenever I do my workouts, because I don't know, I've never tracked any of that shit before. I just checked my macros, you know, like to get in shape for shows. I'm so old school that it's crazy. So I'm excited to actually see.
I am too with that. And I never did that before either. And I started doing it recently because I really noticed that. And I'll be honest, when I started doing it is when I noticed you doing all your, this crazy hit that you were doing at headquarters, Seth. And I thought about it. I'm like, I barely even get out of breath in my cardio. I've been so cardiovascularly in shape for so long. My cardio that I'm doing, it's not even doing anything for me. So my heart rate doesn't. So I started checking my heart rate. Me going on an uphill walk for 45 minutes, I'm not even getting out of breath, not even the slightest. So that's why I really picked my cardio up and much more intense. And it's more fun. First off, it's way more fun. And I'm getting a lot more out of it, seeing more results out of it. So if you're not, but now some people can do an uphill walk for 30, 45 minutes, and that's enough for them. And they are getting, enough of a workout out of that. But if you're doing your cardio and you're not even breathing
95% of them.
Yeah. You're like not breathing heavy at all and you're not doing anything, like that's not really cardio.
That's one of the reasons why I actually love the Stairmaster. I'll never forget my first time getting on a Stairmaster. I had seen a guy that I used to work with, and I hadn't seen him in a couple of years, and he lost a lot of weight. And I was like, man, I'm like, you looking good. And he was like, oh yeah, it's that Stairmaster. And I would always see it in the gym and I would always walk past it. I would never, I actually thought it was stupid. I'm like, who's mechanical stairs? I'm like, I thought it was stupid, but that was my ignorance. That was my ignorance, right? So after he mentioned that to me, I said, I'm gonna try this thing. I bet it ain't even hard. I remember looking up at the clock and 2 minutes had went by. My lower back was on fire. I had my lower back. It hurt so bad. I thought I was doing something wrong. You know what I mean? I was like, this shit is hard. So that made me like it because it was extremely difficult. And my first goal was to be able to walk on the Stairmaster for 10 minutes because I couldn't even get 5 minutes the first time I've done it. And I also feel like it really helps my lower body development for shows, my glutes and my quads. I get pretty good deep separation in my quads. And I walk on that stair. Now I can walk on the Stairmaster for over an hour. It's easy. But I remember the first time I did it, it was incredibly difficult. And the Stairmaster helps get my heart rate up. One of the reasons why that's my favorite. I'll use the treadmill sometimes if I'm using the Stairmaster too much, because then my hips and my groin get tight. So as a switch, sometimes I'll do that, but then I have to put the treadmill on the incline to get my heart rate up. And I try to keep my heart rate in between 120, 145 for the whole, whatever time that I'm doing my cardio, and that pretty much works for me.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
I like cardio.
Mm-hmm.
I am on back to like the motivation part. I did have a client who reached out to me with kind of a question with like to talk about today, more of a topic. When a lot of people, like especially in the winter, they complain more and more about not being motivated because it's cold, because the weather is not nice. And this is definitely kind of geared more towards females, but definitely I'm sure guys can get something out of it too. Something for me that just makes me feel better, especially when it's like super crappy out. Make yourself look nice. We all feel better when we look a little bit better. And especially nowadays with so many people working from home, if you're sitting around all day in your pajamas, you're walking around like a slob, you tend to feel a little bit unmotivated. Put yourself together. Ladies, throw in some makeup, do your hair. Guys, like make yourself feel good and look good. You tend to just, whenever I feel good about how I look, I tend to just have a more productive day. I just feel better. And that's just like a really random little tip that I know really helps me when I'm feeling down. Like in prep, when I feel like shit, and I go and I just like, go put on your favorite Accent Sled shirt,
That
whatever,
literally,
whatever.
that concept right there is why this was created.
Yeah.
That
Make it feel good about how you look.
The whole pump cover thing was created because whenever I would wear like a certain hoodie or a certain hat to the gym, that was like my motivating factor. Like that's the fucking shirt I wear on chest day, because I know once I get a nasty pump and I take my hoodie off, I'm gonna look crazy. So like that's where the name, like, I mean, it's crazy that the phrase pump cover is everywhere. I'm like, in 2016, we coined the phrase, and like, it's fucking everywhere right now. And it's like that
It is
was how
everywhere.
it was. That's
awesome.
how it was created, was because like I wanted to feel something when I went to the gym. Again, it just goes back to me having an experience. It was all about a feeling, because I knew that like on chest day I was wearing a tank top, and whenever I wore a tank top, I'm going to look fucking super juicy and it's going to be awesome. I'm going to take my hoodie off, it's going to look great. It just goes, and
it's all in how your mind perceives that. Like when I go to the gym and I look good and I feel like I'm, and I don't get all done up for the gym for other people. I do it for myself because I have to look in the mirror at myself. I could care if other people see me with no makeup or whatever. I want to look in the mirror and look at something I enjoy looking at. I'll practice posing more. I know, like for bodybuilding, I'll practice my posing more if I look good, and that gets me motivated to look better and to be better and to do better. And it just feeds on itself. And it all starts up here with how you're perceiving your own personal appearance. And it does matter. And it does, I think it does like bring out a lot of internal motivation for you.
Without question. And I know for me, some people won't admit to it, but I will. I love when people compliment me. I love when people tell me they like how I look. Just like Justine says, I like to pose and look at myself in the mirror. And, some people will be negative and will say certain things. Oh, you're conceited. I don't care what other people think. I do like to feel good about myself. And I like when other people like what they see when they look at me. So that's definitely a motivating factor for me. And I'd be lying if I said that it wasn't. When I used to,
I think people say it because they don't want to sound like you said, like a conceited prick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, then why the fuck would we? Why does it even exist? Like, and everybody,
Exactly.
it's one of those things that why I personally have said in all my fucking videos, don't be a judgmental fuck. Like, dude, somebody could be walking into the gym and a pair of dad sneakers, purple sweatpants, and a gray sweatshirt, and that motherfucker might like walk on the stepper or be on the stepper for 45 minutes every single day. Like, that's his thing. That's perfectly fine. That's his world. He does it because you obviously know that dude's probably a dad of 3 daughters, and he's coming in here to just release for 45 minutes before he fucking goes home to a bunch of bullshit. And then somebody else might come in and, they could be, nasty pump cover, sick fucking sweatpants, killer sneakers, all that, and come in and throw down for an hour and a half in a training session. Like but it's those things that, like, it's all, personal preference. But I agree. Like, I mean, I like that's why we make the pump covers that we do. That's why we're making everything the way we do. That's why we have all the new gym shit that's about to be released through All American Roughneck. It was all through those concepts. Like, you should feel good about yourself. You work hard for your money and spend money on things that you enjoy, that make you feel better about your life, which in turn makes your life better and the people around you lives better.
Yeah.
It literally is that fucking simple. And
confidence booster.
Yeah.
Confidence. It's all about confidence. The more confidence you have in yourself, the better you're going to do at everything you do. You're going to do better at this challenge. You're going to do better at work. You're going to do better at your home life. The confidence. And that just, and again, it's that full circle. You can't have confidence until you start working at bettering yourself to build that confidence. And that alone should motivate you. That should motivate you every time you feel, that little, an exercise that I do with a lot of my clients is when they're struggling, because we all struggle to see results in ourselves. And I know I've seen on the page, a lot of people are posting their week to week, and they're saying, like, I don't see any changes. I know Joel does this all the time. He looks at his pictures. He's like, do I look any different? He can't see it in himself. And we all go through this. And that's why it's nice to have somebody else to look at you. Because a lot of the people that posted that, I saw huge changes from their week to week. And you're not seeing it in yourself because you look at yourself all the time. But you're building that confidence week by week. So what I do is I tell my clients every week, if they're struggling with that, I want you to write down every single day one thing that you like about yourself, one positive thing that you like about what your physical being. And by the end of the week, you have 7 positive things that you like about yourself, where before you were being completely negative, you had none. So just turning that negative feeling into 7 positive things throughout the week. Now you have a whole load of motivation right there to get you through that week and get into the next week, because you feel just that much better about yourself. You're making yourself see good things about yourself.
Yeah, you make a great point, because I would say 99% of people in this challenge feel that same way. And they say, you look at yourself every day, you're not going to see results. It's the only way you're going to see results is taking progress pictures, progress videos, so that you can see where you started and where you come from. I got into a debate with a guy years ago, and he made a statement about, oh, you just post your videos to show off. And I say, well, no, actually, I post my videos to critique myself and check my form and to make sure that I'm progressing. And it threw him back because, like, I said earlier, some people think that, taking pictures of yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror, some people think it's you being conceited or you're full of yourself, when you're somebody who is confident in your abilities and you like the way that you look, you want to continuously get better. So there's nothing wrong with taking pictures, looking at yourself in the mirror and critiquing yourself, because it's I don't see my changes unless I have progress pictures and progress videos, and I can go back and I can look at a video the first time I squatted 500 pounds, and I look way different squatting it now because I've gotten better over the years at the same movement. So just like Justine said, that's actually something I'm actually going to do with a few of my clients, is have them start writing down some positive things about themselves, because sometimes when you are just constantly focused on the negative things, it can slow your progress, it can hinder your progress, and that's not what we want. Even if it's I have to tell some of my clients when they're eating all their food or doing their cardio, like, I didn't lose any weight this week, and I'm like, you didn't gain any weight either. So there's 2 ways to look at things. especially if you're doing everything that you're supposed to do. You know, you're not always going to see your changes right away. I think that just kind of goes back to also the time that we live in. I always say people want microwave results. There's no such thing. You have to work every day, and you have to get better at the small things. Because you know, if everybody could look like Seth and Justine, I think everybody would do that. You know what I mean? But it's not easy to get to those places. But looking at us, you guys can see that it's definitely doable. I mean, you know, especially anybody who's ever, you know, seen where I started and, you know, where I'm at right now. I look like two completely different people, you know, but I stayed disciplined. I stayed consistent over a long period of time, which also we have to stop allowing time to discourage us, right? No matter what, time is going to go by. What are we going to do with it? You know, when I was in college, I used to say, man, I don't want to be in school for 10 years to be a doctor. That's too long. Instead of looking at it like, you know what? I really would like to be a doctor. The 10 years are going to go by anyway. So why not put my time and energy into those 10 years to become actually what I really want to be? And it's the same concept in this challenge. We already went past 4 weeks. We got another 4 weeks. It's going to go by either way. So put that 4 weeks to use. And you know, don't allow time to discourage you, the time it'll take to achieve a goal, because
that might be one of the greatest things that people could take in from right now. No
Mhm.
matter what, that time's gonna fucking pass.
Yep.
Gonna go by.
Yep.
How do you
I
wanna
had
spend it?
somebody that was thinking about a friend of mine that was going to do the challenge, and they made a comment before, you know, they even started. They were like, I'd be really, really pissed if I went hardcore for 8 weeks and I didn't win. And I was thinking, I'm like, that's such a bad mindset. And I told them they shouldn't do it. I said, that you shouldn't do it. That's horrible, because, okay, so you didn't win, but you started very healthy habits. You definitely, hopefully, if you did everything you're supposed to, you made awesome changes to your body. You did something positive, regardless of whether you, I mean, yeah, everybody wants to win, but regardless of whether you won or not, why would you ever be upset that you did something positive for your life? And you move forward. That just, that doesn't make sense to me. Even if you did not win at the end, you did something and you made changes that hopefully you're going to carry over long term, and hopefully you can. That's right there is a win. Right there, you won in life by making those changes and becoming healthier, becoming a stronger person, and becoming a better version of you.
People don't some people don't look at things that way, you know, like people that look at Bob, like, you know, I saw Bob whenever he was 285 pounds. Now Bob's literally under 185 pounds and competing in Ironmans. Like his training sessions fucking blow dick. Like they're fucking horrendous.
Right.
But people see him and they're like, man, like really cool, dude. I do it, but you know, I just don't have the time. And it's like, oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
okay. No, the time's gonna go by regardless. Like people get so wrapped up in it, and it's like, well, what the fuck are you gonna do then? Do you just work for the weekend? If you work for the weekend, or are you living life, or are you just kind of going through it? Like, and that's the thing that, you know, when people look at the success that I've had with the things I do in my life, and it's like, no, like a lot of people have watched me work from the time that they started seeing me on the internet. Like people watch me evolve. It doesn't just fucking happen. Like I said, like my body loves being like 18% body fat. For me to not be 18% body fat, I have to do work. For me to be under right around like 8, 9 right now, like I am, like I gotta do a lot of fucking work. I'm gonna do the time, I'm gonna spend the time, I'm gonna live the life anyway. What do I want to do with it? And that's something that everybody has to ask themselves. And you know, it's intense. But you know, if you want something that most people don't have, you have to do things that they don't do.
I know that we all, and I'm sure Doug gets this. I know you get this, Seth. You get people. I wish I had your motivation. I wish I had your willpower. I wish I had your discipline. I didn't wake up like this. I wasn't born like this. You know, we weren't born with motivation and willpower, just like you can learn physical habits, just like you can learn how to bench press, how to lift weights, how to play football, how to ride a bike. You can learn those habits too. You have to practice them just like you practice anything else. You become good at lifting weights by lifting weights. You become good at running by running. You become being good at being motivated, being good at having willpower by practicing it. If you give in every time there's temptation, you're not teaching and learning willpower. If you sleep in every time you don't feel like doing cardio or getting up, you're not teaching motivation. And that's what builds habits. That's what builds a schedule. And that's what builds success. So you have to practice those things just like you practice a physical activity, and you'll get better at it. Just like it's training your brain just the same as it trains your body. And if you have to work at it, just like anything else physical.
And yes, we'll pretty much wrap things up with all that. But me personally, at these points, you just need to be downright fucking ruthless. You have to become a savage. Like it can't be all hunky dory. You got to go fuck shit up. You have to. Like I don't go downstairs at fucking 6:30 in the morning to do my cardio for 45 minutes to an hour and be like, no, I put on a tune that I'm like, I am going to fucking do things on this stepper that I know maybe 1% of people in the world are doing right now. Maybe. Like that's my mentality. It is to be an absolute fucking animal. And that should be people's as well. Like you should be doing those things. And that's where I look at it. Like become a savage. Like get fucking
And it makes you
hard,
feel
dude.
awesome.
Get fucking moving. Like do some wild shit. Do some shit that when people would see it, they'd be like, fuck, dude, you're nuts. Yes, I am. I am crazy. I enjoy it. But that's how it should be. It should be your work should motivate others. So that's how I look at it. But Carly, do you have anything to add?
Well, I was just going to add about tomorrow. We have another great webinar. It's at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's routine, discipline, and results. And that's going to be with Martin, Keon, Vincenzo, Doug, and Jeremy. So we have a big panel tomorrow of all great guys. So as always, if you can tune in, great. If not, it's going to be recorded and you'll get it in an email and posted. But that's another one, especially going into, your check-ins coming here starting tomorrow. With all of them, it's going to be a great time as well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right.
I am going to go train legs now. So that's what I got. Right.
Doug was struggling with his sound.
Yeah.
He's good.
Doug, we love you. Great job.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Doug.
you.
Doug told everybody to stop being a bunch of fucking pussies, look good in the gym, and kill it.
Awesome.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank everybody and have a good day.
Thanks,
Fucking
guys. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.